Hello folks and welcome to today's vlog. It's an early start for us today because we're on the way into Andy's school for his EHCP meeting. He only left himself about 20 minutes ago. We've kind of followed along, but we had to make a little stop on the way because he's run out of breakaways at school. Breakaways are half price in Tesco. We just bought them all. They were 75p a pack. Now we're going to his school. Maybe we didn't need such an early start after all. Somebody who will remain nameless.
Kevin.
I'm personally going to blame the school. The sun is so low today. I'm going to blame the school. Apparently it's a 10:30 meeting, not a 9:30 meeting. So we've come into the centre of town and we're going to have a cup of coffee and sit pleasantly. We never come and have a cup of coffee and sit pleasantly. I don't know if we're capable of doing it. This is worryingly close to a date and we never really did that because neither of us are great at conversation. So I imagine what we'll do.
You scaled a building.
What?
The day I met you.
Yeah.
No, you didn't though.
Yeah, I told her a whole load of lies. But yeah, we're just going to find somewhere to have a cup of coffee, or maybe I'll wander around Marks and Spencer's.
Oh, a pie.
You don't, what?
You can get gluten-free pie.
You know, we've got all our gousto stuff at home. I'm actually going to cook today.
No, chicken for pie and some mash.
Are we going in there? So it looks like we're having Marks and Spencer's gluten-free pies for lunch. Now we're actually going to go and sit in Costa. The one problem of a unexpected wander around the town here is that neither of us brought coats with us, so we were expecting to just pull into the school car park, go into the school and then go home. I'm freezing now. And we're back from the EHCP meeting, and my word, is there a lot of paperwork involved in these meetings. Look at all that paperwork. That is a lot of stuff. But the main headlines from the meeting. Are you joining me for this? Or are you just wondering about Anna's cooking her pie? Luigi's Mansion 3 has just arrived, so she's going to sit and play that for a few minutes before she gets on with some work. What? Show me. Comes with a weird little thing. So the main headlines of the meeting, he is way over target for pretty much everything. He's 146% of his target for English spoken language, 113% of his target for maths, and there or thereabouts with his targets for everything else as well. So that is all good stuff. He filled in his own little thing to say what he likes and what he dislikes. So we know now that he likes Goose Fair and iPads, and he liked when he went on his residential trip with school, and Through Andy's Eyes, which is apparently a YouTube channel he's quite fond of. But one thing we did learn that we kind of knew-ish was happening, but didn't know it was happening to quite the extent it was. We mentioned a week or two back that he'd been to a food bank to do some stuff. What we've now discovered is this is an actual part of a work experience programme where he's going to the food bank every week and doing work tasks. So last week they were sorting tea bags into different piles apparently, but it's all about building up independence and work experience skills. They're going to get more and more independent and more complex as time goes on, and there is the potential for, at the end of this work experience, they have a relationship with the local Sainsbury's as well, and he might even be able to sort of graduate onto the next level of work experience with Sainsbury's, which will be really cool. So that's something they're really pushing and working on. Real big focus on independent skills now. And again, the conversation got around to what's going to happen to him when he leaves school, age 19, and what comes next. And again, the discussion got around to some kind of independent supported living thing, and I think everybody agrees that that's probably going to be the best thing for him. It still completely terrifies Anna, but I think that's what we're all working towards now. Getting his independent skills up to the point where he can live on his own with some kind of support. School are very much focused on that. They're going to look into getting him using the ovens in their independence room so he could prepare his own fish fingers and stuff, which would be really cool if they could do that. And they were talking about how potentially post-19 there's stuff they could do through the local college and various other bits and pieces as well. So it was starting to piece together a post-19 plan for him, which is interesting. It's going to be an interesting few years getting to that point where, fingers crossed, where we are in, I mean, what is he now? He turns 16 next July, so it's like 3.5 years until he leaves school. But at the moment, leaving school looks like moving into some kind of supported living environment with college alongside it. That's what we're all pushing towards at the moment, so that would be awesome. That's what the EHCP reflects. Dave, do you have to make so much noise while I'm talking about important stuff? You don't care, do you? Not even a little bit interested. Right, I'm going to go and check on these pies. Well, I was at home just long enough to edit together yesterday's vlog, and now I'm back out again because I've got an optician's appointment. I don't think I've been to the optician for at least 2 years. Maybe I went last year. I know I got these new glasses earlier in the year. That was on an old prescription. I think my eyes might be turning into old man eyes. It's going to be interesting to see how this turns out. Well, as predicted, and I was in there a good 45 minutes, but as predicted, I've just received a diagnosis of old man eyes. It's not quite what she wrote on the little slip of paper, but I could tell that's what she was thinking. My left eye, which has always been the eye that I'm most short-sighted in, has deteriorated even further, so that one definitely needs a new prescription from where it was 2 years ago, which is annoying because I got like 5 pairs of glasses earlier in the year off the internet, but I've just had to order 2 new pairs. This eye, the prescription is the same, but they are a little bit concerned about a bend in my optic nerve, which I did go to the doctors about, or went to hospital about, and had a proper scan and everything on it like 10 years ago, but they're a little bit worried about some damage in there related to that, and also which is apparently related to my high blood pressure, so they want to monitor that. There's no referral to the doctor or the hospital or anything. They still don't need to see me for another 2 years, so they're not panicking, but they did ask an awful lot of questions about things like glaucoma. So I've not got that, but they are, my eyes aren't 100% healthy, or this one isn't, right at the very back, and this one, the vision is deteriorated. So I've ordered some new glasses. They recommended I had them super thinned down because, as you can see, these ones haven't been, and despite them being thick plastic frames, which are filthy, I acknowledge, they stick out a long way. So she said thin them down, and I also got the blue light anti-reflection filter that's been added onto them. They've cost more than any glasses I've ever ordered in the history of the world. They are on a buy one get one free offer, but my word, never spent that much on a pair of glasses in my life. But if they can take away some of the headaches that I've been having the last few weeks and some of the blurry vision weird moments, then that would be very pleasant. And yeah, apparently because I'm so short-sighted, although my prescription hasn't changed massively, any small change I'll notice quite a lot, because I'm so short-sighted, and because it is short-sighted, and I'll notice it when I'm reading. And she did the little comparison with the fancy machine on my face between what my prescription, what these glasses are, and what the new prescription will be. And when they went from the new glasses version back to these, it was like I'd got punched in the eye and it had gone all blurry. It was awful how much blurrier it was. So I didn't realise things had gotten that bad, but hopefully they'll improve with the new specs. A couple of weeks and then we'll be all good. Right, I need to get home and I will finally cook for you. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's that time you've all been waiting for. I'm finally going to prepare a gousto meal for you. As ever, our link to our gousto affiliate link thing is down in the description below, so if this inspires you to sign up for gousto yourself, you can do it using the link that's down in the description, and it's going to save you a little bit of money. It gets you a discount off your first box and all the rest of the boxes for your first month, and also gets us money off our future boxes too, so helps everybody out. The meal we're going to be making is this one, which is a Mexican pulled chicken burger and paprika fries. So what you get is one of these, a little leaflet for each meal that comes in the box. All the ingredients are in the box. So first thing, we collect the ingredients and then we follow the step-by-step instructions. So in order to make Mexican pulled chicken burger and paprika fries, we need lots of stuff. Chicken breast, little gem lettuce, sachet tomato paste, smoked paprika, ground cumin, 3 white potatoes, 40 grams cheddar cheese, white wine vinegar, tomato, 2 ciabatta rolls, oregano, chili flakes, mayonnaise. They even send mayonnaise pre-packaged. So this should apparently take 35 minutes. I'm obviously not going to show you the full 35 minutes, but step 1, and it gives you instructions for 2 or 4 people. This is the 2-person recipe. If it was 4 people, they'd double the ingredients. But for just me and Anna, we need to preheat the oven to 200 degrees and boil a kettle. Cut the potatoes, skin on, into fries. Potatoes, knife, fries. Fries. Add the fries to a baking tray with a drizzle of vegetable oil, a pinch of salt and the smoked paprika, and give everything a good mix up. Put the tray in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes or until golden and crispy. So tray, fries. The one thing it doesn't send you, or the things it doesn't send you, is things like salt, pepper, oil. Luckily, we're normal. We have all that. So, vegetable oil, does it say how much? A drizzle of vegetable oil. 1 light drizzle. Some salt. Whee! The rest goes in there. And paprika was one of these. So, for those of you cheating and doing this recipe without buying gousto, that's 1 teaspoon of paprika, which if we open that up, sprinkle that over as well, and then grab your favourite Disney themed utensil to just mix all that around to make sure the oil, the paprika, all the flavour and deliciousness and yumminess is all over every one of the fries, trying to avoid spilling them over the edge of the tray like I just did, because that just creates more mess for you to clean up later, or in this case for me to clean up later. So there is a thin layer, no chips on top of other chips. It doesn't say that, but you know, I can actually cook. I know you don't put chips on top of other chips. So that goes in the oven 25 to 30 minutes. Set timer for 30 minutes.
Okay, 30 minutes and counting.
I like mine well done. So that is stage 1 complete. We move on to stage 2. While the fries are cooking, add the ground cumin, dried oregano, chili flakes, can't handle the heat, go easy, and a generous pinch of salt and pepper to a plate. Gently stir it all together and add the chicken breast. Turn the chicken several times and fully coat in the spices. So, freshly washed plate. I know I should have a tea towel, but I don't have a clean one. And then what did it say? Ground cumin, which is one of these. So ground cumin onto plate, dried oregano onto plate, chili flakes. Now I'd put all of these on if it's just for me, but Anna is not one for a huge amount of chili, so I'm just going to put half of the chili flakes on. You can always add some hot sauce or something later if it's not spicy enough. Generous pinch of salt, and then pepper, which is around somewhere. You have to take the lid off your pepper. There's a little chef's tip for you. Pepper, and then just mix all this up. I mean, there's probably a technical way to mix it up, but that seems like that's going to do the job just as well as anything technical could. Gently stir it all together. Add the chicken breast, which is here. Turn the chicken several times until fully coated in the spices. I'm surprised we don't have to coat it with oil or anything first, but I guess chicken breasts are a little bit moist, a little bit sticky, so it does seem to be holding all the spices. That looks amazing. I'd eat that just as it is. Well, I'd probably cook it, but it looks pretty special. So that's stage 2 complete. Stage 3, heat a large wide-based pan, preferably non-stick with a matching lid. I don't own such a thing. It says preferable, will be good. With a little drizzle of olive oil over a medium heat. Once hot, add the chicken breast, cook for 3 minutes on each side or until browned. The lid's probably going to be important later. We can improvise if we need one. So, large, flat, non-stick pan. I'm sorry, this isn't a cooking channel. You're not going to come over here with me because I'm hungry and I don't want to keep moving the tripod around. So you're just going to have to trust me that I'm going to put olive oil in this pan and then heat it up. So, pan warmed up. Pan with lid available for use when time comes, but for now we cook the chicken 3 minutes on each side. I don't have another timer on my watch. Check timer, When it gets to 19, we know it's time to turn it over. We've now got a while the chicken is cooking instruction for step 4. So while the chicken is cooking, dissolve tomato paste in 200 millilitres of water. This is the tomato stock. That's easy to do. Now I may or may not have lost our measuring jug recently, so I'm kind of doing this by feel, but I know roughly how much 200 millilitres of water is on the basis that a can of Coke is 330 millilitres of water. So we're looking for about 2/3 of a can, or 2/3 of a mug roughly. So we take some boiling water, fill that up 2/3 of the way. I don't know why I needed to use 2 mugs for this. Pour that into there where we've just put the tomato paste. I make so much mess when I'm cooking. And then stir this in. So this is our tomato stock. I also need to grate the cheese. This is all while the chicken is cooking, so I need to grate the cheese and then combine the mayonnaise and the white wine vinegar in a small bowl and set aside for later. That becomes our zingy mayo. So just leave that there. Remember not to drink that, Kev. That's tomato juice. How do you grate a tiny block of cheese like this? Like this. There's your answer to the question. Dave, you can't have any of this, it's precise amounts. Whenever Dave sees me with a block of cheese, he assumes I'm going to share a little bit of it with him. I mean, to be fair, you can have the nub, because I'm not going to be able to do all of this without cutting off my fingers. Ha! There's a nub coming for you, Dave, don't worry. There you go. So we have some grated cheese, and then Batman bowl where we need to combine mayonnaise and vinegar. But first we need to turn the chicken over. That is smelling epic. So back to the mayonnaise, get that open. This feels like a lot of mayonnaise, but I'm sure they know what they're doing. I guess if it's quite spicy, you're going to want a lot maybe. And then we combine that with the vinegar. I've never mixed vinegar with mayonnaise before. If you'd have asked me if this would work, I would assume it would split. But it's actually made quite a loose dressing. So much wetter consistency than mayonnaise. It smells very vinegary. Tastes like ziggy mayonnaise. Right, once this chicken is cooked, which is about 1.5 minutes away from being done, we then need to cook, add the tomato stock, which is here, and cover it. So we're going to move it into the pan that has a lid, cover it, cook it for 12 to 15 minutes, which will hopefully coincide with how long we've got left on the fries. Check timer. We have 17 minutes left. That is spot on. It's almost as if they planned this. And it also has a tip. Flip the chicken occasionally to keep it moist. So chicken should now be cooked. Can I just point out, this looks really, really nice. I could eat that as is, but let's follow the recipe. Get that on there. Add stock over the top. Lid on. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit initially, just going into a cold pan rather than carrying on with the hot pan. Remind me to turn that down in a minute and flip it occasionally, so that needs 12 to 15 minutes. Check timer, 14 minutes. That is spot on! So while that's in there, move the cheese to one side, because now we need to start preparing the lettuce. So, it says remove the 4 outer leaves. These will be going in the burger. This is going to need a wash as well. So, they can go to one side. One moment. Right, the rest of this just needs chopping up. I never know how far to go with a little gem, because you don't really want to eat the heart of it, because it gets a little bit bitter in there, in my experience. But what the hell, the recipe says to do that. So just chop this up nicely, and then we've got to dice the tomato as well. So we're having like a little mini chopped salad, I guess, just with lettuce and tomato. So this needs dicing. You do need a sharp knife for this. If you're a complete beginner and you don't have a sharp knife, I can tell you from bitter experience, dicing a tomato is an absolute nightmare with a blunt knife. You just end up with like a mashed tomato. So use your sharpest, best knife for this bit, or you know, treat yourself to a new knife. Knives aren't expensive and they're awesome. You're less likely to cut yourself with a really sharp knife, because as I learnt to my great displeasure when I was a teenager, if you try and chop, a cabbage with a reasonably blunt knife, and the knife just slid off it and cut into my finger down to the bone. Whereas if it had been a sharp knife, the knife would have just gone through the cabbage. So sharper the knife, less likely you are to cut yourself, apparently. So that's our lettuce and tomatoes sorted. The cheese is sorted too. We're generating quite a little pile of rubbish over here. The next thing to do, this is still on stage 6 of 8, is prepare the ciabatta rolls. So for this, bread knife. I'm just going to turn the chicken over quickly and turn the heat down because I can hear that it's boiling. Put the lid back on there. So ciabatta rolls, just cut in half down the middle. Again, a serrated bread knife is what does the job here for a nice clean cut. Add them to a tray, cut side up. So, tray, cut side up. Put the tray in the oven for 3 to 4 minutes or until warm through and slightly crispy. Well, I don't really want to do that right now because I want those to still be warm when the chicken and the chips are done. What I am going to do, it doesn't say to do this, but all of my cooking instincts are telling me I should be turning those chips a bit, just move them around a little bit. So we're just going to do that. So just move those around a little bit, and now we wait. Everything is prepared now. We're just waiting for it to be ready. So we've got about 4 minutes left on the timer, so I'm going to stick the ciabatta in now to crisp that off. There's dirt on here, I just slipped in it. To crisp that up, ready to make the thingies. And then the last things we've got to do, once the chicken is cooked, transfer it to a clean board and shred using 2 forks. Then return the chicken to the pan, season with a pinch of salt and mix it up until fully coated in the sauce. Return the pan to a medium heat, top the chicken with the grated cheese and cook covered for 1 minute further or until the cheese is melted. This is your Mexican pulled chicken. And then to serve, fill the warm ciabattas with the lettuce leaves, Mexican pulled chicken and zingy mayo. Serve the Mexican pulled chicken burger with the paprika fries and the shredded lettuce and tomatoes to the side. Drizzle any remaining zingy mayo over the salad and enjoy. I already know it smells amazing in here. Right, our time is up, so let's put the chicken over here onto this plate. That smells so nice. So take that off the heat while I faff about and do this. So theoretically this should be cooked through, no pink, and just tear up with a fork, and that is exactly the situation we find ourselves in. I've pulled many a meat in my time, and this is looking good stuff. So that now goes back into the pan. We need to stir that all around to make sure it's lovely and coated in the sauce. That is taking up any remaining sauce that was in the bottom of there. That is a dry pan with pulled chicken in the bottom now. And then the last thing we need to do to finish off the chicken, that grated cheese from earlier, we just sprinkle that over the top, put the lid back on, put it back on the heat until that cheese melts. And while that is happening, we are going to grab our chips and just put them onto some kitchen roll, just to soak up the grease. Again, it doesn't say to do that, but who wants greasy chips? Nobody wants greasy chips, so we're just going to leave those there for a second. We also need to get the bread out before that goes black. Now would be a good time for some serving plates too. This is really hot. So, have we got a top and a bottom on each? No! 2 tops. Yikes. Right. Cheese is melted already, that's ridiculous. So, lettuce. 2 pieces each bottom. Our delicious pulled chicken. Can't get over how good this smells. I hope it tastes as good as it smells. That goes on top of the lettuce. Look how much washing up it's creating. Then we take some of our zingy mayo. We don't want to use all of it because we save some for the salad, but some zingy mayo over the top of the chicken. And then the lid goes on there, and that is our Mexican pulled chicken burger. I'm just going to get a little bit more kitchen paper just to dab the top of those chips because don't want greasy chips. Look how much grease has come up off of those chips, but get those on here. I'm going to show you this piece of paper in a second. This is why you should drain your chips on some kitchen paper. Yucky. And then the shredded lettuce from before, half and half. Half the tomato on each. Thusly. And then the remainder of our zingy mayo over the top of that salad. And there we have a Mexican pulled chicken burger with paprika fries and some lettuce and tomato on the side. link to Gousto is down in the description below, and Andy's making a lot of noise in the next room, so we're going to go and eat.
It seems I forgot to end yesterday's vlog. The dinner was lovely, and then Anna sent me to bed early because I was tired. Thus ends yesterday's vlog. If you have enjoyed it, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for more daily vlogs, and thank you very much for watching.